Mm-hmm.
It's like the original One More Chance. Oh, you can tell that the guy that we now call Diddy, that we're calling Puff and Puff Daddy back then, like that guy hasn't influenced the whole of Big yet.
Mm-hmm.
The original One More Chance that you're getting is the Big, like from Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
from off the block, talking his Brooklyn shit.
Mm-hmm. That's some serious shit he's talking in that song too.
Yes. The guy that's on One More Chance, the remix. Oh no. That guy's a superstar now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That
absolutely. You can hear the difference.
that guy has made Juicy,
Mm-hmm.
Big Papa now, and play his anthem and get money and blistered countless remixes for Puff. Total Can't You See, 112 only. Like no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm not 112 only, but he's somebody different
Mm-hmm.
on the Chance remix. But the guy that's on the remix is, in conversation as the greatest MC ever, and we're going to unpack why. Because One More Chance is not only one of the best rap records ever, it's very indicative to like why nobody could kind of fuck with Big when he was
Right.
here, like doing some of the things that he was doing,
Okay.
like conceptually and lyrically. Tupac and Nas surpassed Big,
Mm-hmm.
but the overall package, the full game. It's kind of like it's like one of those things. It's like, well, I think LeBron James does more things well than Michael Jordan did, but that doesn't make him a better player.
Right.
And so that's kind of how I feel about Big in relationship to why I don't call him the greatest MC of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that he doesn't deserve to be in the conversation. He most definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
But really, his real skill is that he's great at a little bit of everything, kind of like
Okay.
LeBron. Like I
I
would
got you.
never like LeBron's not the best at anything except for
Right.
maybe driving to the basket. But even then, I would tell you Mike and James Harden and even a young Grant Hill were probably better drivers to the
Mm-hmm.
basket. Not the best at one thing.
I mean, you could argue that young Zion Williamson is too. Like he's on that. I mean, he
Yes,
hasn't done it for long enough, but
young,
like nobody can do anything with him at all.
young Barkley,
Yeah.
right? Completely like unstoppable, like going to the hole. So LeBron's not the best at any one thing per se,
Hmm.
but it's the totality of those things that make you think.
He's
It's
near the
like
top of all of them. Yeah.
he's near the top of all of them, and that's big on this record. And it's hard to do that on
The
an
thing
indie.
that he's been the best at, not as a sidebar, but is staying healthy, really. I mean, and being able to do all of it for longer. Like
Right.
that's the
So,
superpower.
so big superpower is that he makes the demeaning and the self-effacing funny.
Hmm.
He
That's
makes,
the first note I wrote on there. The rhymes in this are just hilarious. They're funny.
he could have been a comedian. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. And so what you have to understand is that he's lyrically precise,
Hmm.
but witty.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's
Hmm.
lyrical. He's joking. There's sarcasm. There's
Yeah.
so many literary devices. It's one of rap's biggest single. It has so many brilliant literary things
It's
about it.
it's so funny.
In
I was
terms
laughing
of,
listening to it again. Yeah.
expressing his writing style,
Hmm.
but then you have his actual flow and delivery on there, which I mean, quite frankly, it's like
Mm.
his delivery on this record is like Barry Sanders doing spin moves.
Wow. Yeah. That's the best of the best of the best of the best.
It's it's
Barry
literally.
Sanders is a good comp too because he didn't do it for nearly as long as we wish he would have.
Oh yeah, and if he would have, much like Biggie, probably would have went down as the best ever. And even for my money, I still think he's the best running back ever. Even
Yeah. Yeah. There's not many people in the conversation with
there's
him.
not even there's only even a few people that even deserve to be mentioned with him in
Mm.
my humble estimation. Nobody who's playing today
No.
deserves to be mentioned with him, even like remotely. With all
No,
due
not even
respect,
close. You're
not
talking
even
about Peyton
close.
and Jim Brown and people like that. Like
Yeah,
those are the
the, those are the two guys, and
yeah.
after that, like Earl Campbell, Eric Dickerson, some of
Those are
them.
all a
OJ,
very different style though, right?
OJ,
Like yeah,
OJ.
yeah.
All jokes aside, raising
No,
that
OJ was a
conversation.
great football player, which is
Yeah, great epic
what
football.
happened to his brain that caused a lot of the stuff. I mean, he got hit too many times. Is one of the many things. Yeah,
Definitely some plausibility to that, Andrew. When you're looking back on it now,
yeah, yeah.
when he played and what CT is and brain trauma and all those things is. But that's just to say Biggie's flow and delivery is like super velvety
Hmm.
and
Oh yeah.
still on here. It's like, it's like Showtime Lakers Magic with the ball in his hand.
Smooth, so smooth. Yeah.
Smooth, it's easy, it's natural. This is what
Hmm.
he's supposed to be doing. And so this is what I mean about how special this record is. It's like, well, this is a big single. And
Hmm.
so somebody that's being lyrical, being funny, they're flowing, their delivery is flawless. That's what I mean. There's so many technical things about it. And then you get into the writing aspect of it with the satire
Hmm.
and tongue in cheek and all the gesture, all the, I guess, what I would say, metaphorical gestures
Hmm.
that are being and innuendos that are being presented in the way that they're being presented. It's
Yeah.
like, how do you hear this and it not make you smile?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Like, and there are misogynistic points, obviously, in
it's,
this, but like
it makes it
it's
like he knows he's being misogynistic. That's part of what I
he's
mean.
yeah, he's winking at it and not just he's not
Yeah,
doing it cruelly, I guess. He's doing it because he's just talking
like, oh,
shit.
okay, so in Django, the use of the word, the N word.
Hmm.
Do you think that Quentin Tarantino is uh being abusive, or do you think there's some tongue in cheek in play?
Yeah, there's some tongue in cheek in there too.
Right.
But
Same thing going on with this record. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
So, like, for
He's and
somebody,
they're also illustrating the way people talked, like in the same way that Biggie's doing, right?
right?
He's just
And this is
making a this is an example of how people talk in this
and this is
context.
and this is some Brooklyn b-boy fly talk.
Exactly.
That's who he is. He's the flyest dude in Brooklyn. Like,
So he's supposed to talk like this.
yes, that's how he's supposed to talk. Yes, absolutely that. So where do you want to go from there? Like note wise, what are your notes? Like, kind of like, how do they unfold for this
Um,
record?
the hook is Jackson 5, right? Like, isn't that the One More Chance song? Yeah. Like, it's a fun inversion too
It's fun.
because he's taking young Mike too. So that's the Puff thing, or is that a thing that he
That's
did
a
before too?
no, that's a puff thing, man.
That's what I
Yeah.
figured. It sounds like a thing that Puff would do.
This is
Um,
the, this is
and
this this is how about this? For everything that Puff ever did, this was the formula that he was always trying to recreate that he could never quite
mhm,
recreate. This record, the whole sampling thing, this is the record that made it like took it over the top. This is
yeah,
this is the man. This
yeah,
this is the
it's the same thing he did with probably the greatest selling of the records, which is the one where he took the Every Breath You Take. Um, I'll be
the
watching
sting.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Sting song or the
yeah.
Police song. Yeah, I mean it's the same general formula, right? I mean it's taking one of
Right.
the
So
most instantly recognizable songs of the time and doing something completely different with it.
so this is what I mean about that's the formula. Well, where do you think he got that from? One more chance is 95. I'll be missing you is 97.
Right.
He's pulled,
That's what I'm
that's what
saying. I'm just saying that was another example
Yeah.
of
No, no,
Biggie.
no. So this is what I'm saying is that all the other records after it where you're seeing the sample get
Mm,
used and why it's getting used the way it's used and it being
mm,
popular, this is the record that kind of stamped that it was popular. Like on another level, like
okay.
Juicy is big, Big Papa is big. Both of those are
Hmm.
samples.
Yeah.
This was our atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like in terms of like how it tracked, how it trended, and even how it sounded. Because as much as I love Juicy and Big Papa, they are not better records than One More Chance to me.
This is
I
so
just don't
good.
I just don't have any. I don't have any evidence that the beats aren't better. The sample's not
Hmm.
necessarily better. The lyric and the delivery is definitely not better. He's a totally different MC
Hmm.
than you. Like he went from being a very great rapper to being one of the greatest rappers ever in about a year,
Wow.
if even that long. It's like from the
Mm-hmm.
moment like and he flashes on Ready to Die,
Mm-hmm.
like One More Chance. It's like, well, no, no, no. You can hear the guy that's talented on the original One More
Hmm.
Chance. But you don't think that he can make one more chance to remix when you're listening to Ready to Die, even though he's
That's
making Juicy and Big Pop. Like you don't
yeah.
see it. No, 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 not on the level that he's just executing like flawlessly. I would equate it to Ghostface has this line on the older guys where he talks about Dorothy Hamill, like the way we're like Dorothy Hamill on ice. We might circle. The way he circles on this record is like, oh no, you couldn't see that happening if you listen to Ready to Die.
Hmm.
Like not a year later, because keep in mind this is helping to still promote Ready to Die. This isn't on any necessarily any album
Right.
when this. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
hmm So this is very Beatles like too, in the sense that it's kind of like a single. It really did.
Yeah.
The remix really doesn't belong to an album.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most remixes, I made this note too. And most remixes I know of just change the beat a little bit. I mean, they're changing a little bit. So this is a whole fucking new song. Like the hook is similar-ish. I mean, like they're still sampling
So,
kind of ish, but like, but like all the verses are completely different. Hey y'all, thanks for making it to the end of this video. If you love this, check out this video right here. It's another one that where Coop and I are talking about how two songs go together that you wouldn't maybe think go together. So thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.